Two competitions remain until halfway of the 2025 Diecast Competition Series season, and yet this competition right here, the 6th on the season, brings huge, sweeping changes. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Farkle8000, and welcome to the first half of round number 1 of the June competition. I said there are sweeping changes, so let me waste no time and get into them. I'll go in order of significance, least to most, though they're all pretty significant. First up, we have 5 brand new rookies. That brings us up to 41, I believe, for the rookie season. That is the most of a diecast competition season. The competitors are Blocker, High Tech, Twin Mill, Drafts, younger brother of Drafter, and Quattro. All these competitors will race in the final 2 races of round number 1. So they will not race today. They will be racing on Wednesday. Next up, a pretty big topic here, so this is very, very significant. Do not want to underplay this whatsoever. Competitors will be retiring at the end of this season. The one that is not confirmed yet is Venom. He has said that when a non-Hot Wheeled car wins a competition, he will be retiring at the end of that season. Whether it's this season or not is still TBD. Race and Land, the next competition, the one just before halfway, could be won by a non-Hot Wheeled competitor. It was won by a non-Hot Wheeled competitor last season, a NASCAR to be exact, so definitely could happen in that one. Just wanted to update you all on Venom. But the 2 that have been confirmed are now the 2 that are on your screen. That is Pullback and Lantern have confirmed to be retiring from the Diecast Competition Series at the end of 2025. Pullback has said that she is going to be a security guard in the top garage, just like her older brother. And Lantern has not said he's going to do anything big for the sport. He's really just going to become a fan, which is perfectly fine. But now the biggest, the most significant is the DNF policy. Rumored a lot at the end of the last competition, it is now confirmed that there will be a penalty for DNFs that is starting in this competition and for every regular competition. So Race Derby and Race and Land do not count in this. The DNF policy simply goes as follows. It is 1 point per competitor DNF. So if you are the 7th competitor to DNF in a competition, you will get 7 points. If you are the 7th competitor to DNF but made it to round 2, you will get 17 points because it is plus 10 for each round. That means you would also get 27 if you had made it to round 3. DNF policy is here. It is big, and so competitors, especially the New Yorkers, the rookies, the competitors fighting for a top 10 spot and fighting for the championship have to keep an eye on this and make sure they finish every single race. But now with that out of the way, now that you're up to speed, let's start racing. Your first 4 competitors of this competition are now on screen, now lined up at the start line. A quick thing to mention about the DNF policy, forgot to mention it does not apply to race 1, and it technically doesn't apply to the final 4. If you're a competitor in the final 4 and you only DNF once out of the 2 races, then you will be perfectly fine. However, if you DNF more than half of the races, so if there's 3 races and you DNF 2 of them, then it will apply. So now, on to the race. From right to left, we have Bird, Lantern, Dylan, and Volks. And it looks to be Bird beginning to pull ahead, a wobble as Lantern was in the air as well. Volks is in the lead. He's wobbling big time as they inch to the finish line. Volks will finish. Bird will not finish. Lantern will sneak through to grab second, and that is disappointing for both Dylan and Bird. So it will be Volks with the victory. Lantern coming home in second, now in his final season. We know he's now in his final season. Second place is pretty good. But Bird, why didn't he finish? That was odd. Because it looked like he was going to be able to. I guess he just didn't have enough speed. Same with Dylan. And they just DNF'd. So Volks gets the win ahead of Lantern, advances to round 2. Jeep, M, Bullet, and Oldster race next. It looks to be Jeep pulling out a sizable lead, but now he wobbles. His back end way in the air. He's up on 2 wheels as M is beginning to pull to the lead. Bullet challenging, but will be unable to get there. That is a heartbreaker for Jeep. Had the lead coming through the transition, but bounced way too big. Lost too much speed, then wobbled, and that completely lost him any chance. He falls to 4th. But M capitalizes, pulls to second place, holds off Bullet to advance to round 2. Rescue, Flatbed, Luke, and Silver race next. And it's a very even start. It looks like Rescue's falling behind Luke. Now on the side of the track, he's slowing down. It looks like Silver's on the side of the track as well. Rescue will take the victory. Flatbed not too far behind. And we're going to have a double DNF. Our first 2 official DNFs. It looks like Luke is going to be placed further behind. So that will be 1 point for Luke and 2 points for Silver. If they had finished the race, they probably would have gotten somewhere between 5 and 7 points. So not a massive loss for where they are in the standings right now, but still really don't want to DNF. That is rough right there. The 2 red cars come home first and second. Rescue, an impressive victory to advance to round 2. Skull, Mini, Plasma, and Rancher race next. And it looks to be Rancher with a lead coming through the transition. Many way in the air, bounces off Plasma as Rancher's in the lead, but she's slowing down and Plasma is going to steal the victory at the last second. Skull will just barely come home in 4th, but Plasma, out of the middle of nowhere, steals the win. It didn't look like Rancher hit the side of the track. It didn't look like she bounced big coming through the transition. I mean, Plasma got landed on and just drove to the finish line. I don't know where he got that speed. That was impressive. Steals the victory. Plasma advances to round 2. 68, Bruiser, Tron, and Racer race next. And it looks to be Racer with a big lead, a little sideways before the transition. Now she's up on 2 wheels, now flipping wildly on her roof. Bruiser will take the victory ahead of 68. Tron will come home in 3rd, and 68 is upside down, something she has done quite a lot this year. In a very similar wreck that we have seen this year, she got up onto the side of the track. Her spoiler got on the side of the track, and there are pieces all along the side of the track just sticking up, which she hits, flips wildly into the air, and DNFs. That is a rough finish there. Bruiser, looking at the race, he was the cleanest, and it pays off. Drives on to the next round. Bush, 10, Mustang, and Country race next. And it's a very even start. It looks like 10, maybe a slight lead. Now he bounces way in the air. He's on the side of the track. Mustang's upside down. And now 10 will drive to the victory ahead of Bush. Mustang, a very familiar sight for him this season as well. He has turtled before the finish line. And we will have our 4th DNF of the competition. We are just 6 races in, and we have 4 DNFs. Like, that is crazy. Mustang, that means he will only get 4 points in this race, where he might have gotten 12 to 15 if he had actually finished the race. 10, though, very lucky not to be the 5th DNF of this competition, because he got big time in the air, got on the side of the track. I thought Busch was just going to drive away with it, but 10 holds on and advances to round 2. Railing, blackout, Kurt, and 1 race next. And it's another even start. It looked like 1 now beginning to pull away. Blackout bounced in the air. They're all clean. They're all still on all fours. They're 3 wide crossing the line. That was very, very close. It looks like Blackout got the victory. And she does. Finally, we have a clean race in this competition. And it comes down to a nail-biting 3 wide photo finish. Blackout comes out on top. 55, Safari, Lefty, and Flames race next. And it looks like Safari maybe a slight lead, but now he bounces and flips onto his roof. 55 trying to sneak past his Flames, grabs the victory just barely ahead of Lefty. 55 is able to get by Safari, but not without pushing him quite a long ways towards the finish line. And that means we have another wreck. Oh my goodness. We installed a new DNF policy, hoping it was going to keep cars on their tires. But now we've just got a wreckfest of a competition so far. This is insane. Flames stole the victory. Well, I wouldn't say stole the victory, but just narrowly beat out Lefty for the win. Daylight, Blue, Turbo, and Discount are up next. And it looks like Turbo's now being left behind. Blue bounces way in there. He's now sideways on the side of the track. It looked like Turbo was off the track as well. Daylight will get the win. And Blue is off the track and will DNF. Another DNF. And we almost had 2 DNFs. It looked like Turbo got on the side of the track as well. So almost added 2 to our ever-growing DNF count. The NASCARs will finish 1-2. Daylight will come out on top. 2 rookies in Mighty and Jacqueline with Bleu and Ruthless race next. And it looks like Ruthless pulling way ahead early now. Blue on the side of the track, wobbling up on 2 wheels. Ruthless will pull away to grab the victory. Jacqueline and Mighty will finish behind him, and Bleu will DNF pretty spectacularly, though. If I had to rate all the DNFs so far, I would say Racer is first, and then Bleu. Up on 2 wheels, wobbling side to side. You could tell she wanted to save it. She did not want to DNF this race. Ruthless did not see him being able to win this one. He'll get the victory ahead of the 2 rookies. 2 rookies in Viper and Ranger with veterans 96 and Venom race next. And it looks like 96, maybe a slight lead. Venom pulling ahead now. It looks like Venom's on the side of the track as Ranger's in the lead. 96 challenges. But Ranger will hold on and grab the victory. We have another DNF. This time it is Venom, possibly in his final season. Ranger, a non-Hot Wheeler, will win this one. He will be able to hold off 96 and Viper to advance to round 2. Courtesy, FedEx, Prime Target, and EB race next. Courtesy in lane number 1 is the first New Yorker to race in this competition. He has been the first New Yorker to race in almost every competition this season. He has been on a free fall since making it to round 2 in the January competition. He has hemorrhaged points like it is in style, which it's not, because continuing to hemorrhage points will lose him a spot in the Diecast Competition Series. You can tell he's not laying down and just accepting it. He is trying things. He has been running forwards in every competition this season so far. Today, he runs in reverse, Let's see if that helps him. And so far it's not, as he's being left behind. EB in the lead. Prime Target flips on his roof, and EB will come across with the victory. Courtesy in second. And that's another DNF. We have had 9 DNFs in the first 12 races. That is just crazy. The amount of DNFs we've had with a new DNF policy. I mean, at this point, the competitors who DNF will be getting more points than the winner. Because this is just absolutely insane. Running backwards does not help Courtesy. He finishes second place to EB, who advances to round 2. California, Spoiler, Sports, and Indy race next. And it looks like California hugely coming through the transition. Spoiler up in the air. Now he's on the side of the track. So is Sports. California will take the victory. Indy in second. And we have a double DNF once again. Adding more fuel to that fire. That, I believe, is 11 DNFs in 13 races, which is still insane with a new DNF policy. Really, other than that, there's nothing else to say about this race. California gets the win ahead of Indy. Hot Wheels, Zonda, Snake, and Siren race next. And Hot Wheels will start with the early lead. He'll keep it through the transition, though a small bounce for him and everyone else. Hot Wheels pulls away from Zonda and will grab the victory. When the races are clean, they're really entertaining, but when they're a wreckfest, man, they become a wreckfest. Luckily, this race was clean. Hot Wheels grabbing the victory ahead of second-year sophomore competitor Zonda. Rookie Hull, 27, Double Liner, and Type X are up next. And it looks like Double Liner with an early start. Now 27 begins to fall behind as he wobbles and was up on the side of the track. Hull is in the lead. No one can catch him as he crosses the line. And the rookie will take the victory. Many competitors had big bounces through that transition. Hull was one of them. 27, who was beginning to be left behind, was one of them. Luckily, everyone keeps it on track, keeps it on their tires, and we have a tight battle for the finish that sees the rookie of Hull advance to round 2. Charger, Gregson, 30, and Mixer are up next. And it looks like Mixer has a slight lead, but now he wobbles, and now 30 flips upside down on her roof. Charger has the lead. Gregson's right there, and it is very tight for the victory. It looks like Charger will get the win as 30 becomes the 14th DNF of this competition. Charger grabs the victory. It was very, very tight. Mixer had the lead, then fell behind. Gregson snuck into second and battled Charger, but it just wasn't enough. Armorall, Citron, Rookie, Drift Rod, and Python race next. And it's a very even start. It looks like Citron being left behind, and now he's flipped onto his roof on his side. It's a very tight battle to the finish line. Python will get the victory. Citron will grind to a halt on his roof, becoming the 15th competitor to DNF. In reference to other competitors, the drivers around him are going to get around 40 points, so that is a loss of about 25-30 points for Citron, which is massive, and why the DNF policy now exists. You need to keep it on your tires, but apparently some competitors didn't get the memo. Everyone else in this race got the memo, though, especially Python, who gets the victory and advances to round 2. Hyper Ice, Red, Worldwide, and Carvana race next. And it's a very, very even start. I don't know who's ahead. A wobble coming through the transition, and they're still 4 wide coming to the line. Carvana will inch ahead to grab the victory. That was very, very tight from start to finish. Carvana will just barely inch ahead to grab the win. Red, a great start to the season, now falling back to where she typically runs in points, gets beat out by the NASCARs in this race. Carvana out on top to advance to round 2. Rookie Cheetah, Howler, Drifts, and Cage race next. And it's an even start. Cage now beginning to be left behind. Howler in the air, bounces off the sidewall into Cheetah. He's still in the lead. Drifts cannot get to him and will cross the line with the victory. Cage a long ways behind. By far the slowest competitor in this race, but had to run anyways because that's just how the cards were dealt. Finishes the race though, does not get a DNF, so still a decent run there for Cage. Howler getting up on the side of the track, thought he was going to slow down Cheetah and Drifts was going to get the win or even flip and DNF. He does neither of those and is able to hold on for the victory. 5. Flyer, Chevelle, and Bones race next. A quick note at the lineup. Flyer is running forwards in this race. He's been running backwards the whole season. Had a decent start to the season, but has been kind of fumbling ever since. Maybe this competition and driving forwards will help change his luck around. And so far it's an even start. Flyer beginning to fall behind. He wobbles and a little slide, but now he's beginning to pull away from the pack and will easily claim the victory. And going forwards, not sure if it will change his luck around, only time will tell there. But Flyer easily grabs the victory. No challenge whatsoever. Bones sneaks into second place. Did not recognize that. I was looking at Flyer driving away. Chevelle, it looked like he got up on the side of the track a little bit coming through the transition. He goes from leading and falls to last place. Flyer grabs the victory and advances to round 2. Impreza, Cruise, Catapult, and Nighttime race next. Catapult in lane number 3. If I was a betting man, I would probably bet my entire bank account on Catapult DNFing in this race. She's so fast. Catapult is so fast, has so much speed, just cannot get through that transition. And if she can, she's just a little too far behind or bounces too big and falls too far behind in order to capitalize on the speed that she brings. Look out for Catapult in lane 3. Could be a bit of a wrecking ball in this one. And Catapult starts with the lead, a huge lead at that. And there goes Catapult, landing on top of Cruise. Now she forwards in Cruise's lane and will cross the line, getting pushed by Cruise. What? I said wrecking ball kind of as a joke. I did not see her flipping into Cruise's lane. That is incredible. Nighttime will grab the victory. That is absolutely insane. Catapult will finish in last. And because although Catapult did cross the line, you need to cross the line in your own lane for it to count. And so because Catapult didn't do that, she's going to DNF this race. Cruise placed in 3rd despite being behind Catapult in his own lane. I'm shocked Cruise isn't trying to throw tires with Catapult, because that was rough right there. Had a chance to possibly win this one and then basically got screwed over by Catapult flipping right there. That is a rough finish there. What wasn't a rough finish though was Nighttime grabbing the victory. Tootsies 28, Rookie Beetle, and Pickup race next. And it's a very even start. Pickup inching ahead a little bit, wobbling through the transition. 28 on the side of the track. Beetle pulls ahead of Tootsies to grab the victory. Pickup a little ways behind. Don't know what happened to him, but he will come home in last after starting with the lead. Beetle bounced coming through the transition, but didn't get up on the side of the track, and just got a massive run and drove to the victory and advances to round 2. DeWalt, Moto, Loves, and Axalta race next. And it looks to be Moto, maybe a slight lead, now beginning to fall behind. Whoa, DeWalt up on 2 wheels, but he saved it and still on track. It's very tight at the line. It looks like Axalta would beat DeWalt. And he will. Axalta inches ahead of DeWalt, but it could have been inches behind had DeWalt not nearly flipped on track. Basically did what Bleu tried to do earlier, got up on 2 wheels, but was somehow able to save it. Moto, the only non-NASCAR in this race, comes home in 3rd. Loves in last. Axalta pulls off the victory. Department, Drafter, Shooter, and Moneyline race next. Department in lane number 1 is the second New Yorker to run in this competition. And it looks to be an even start. Moneyline now inching ahead. Shooter up on 2 wheels. Now he flips on his roof. They're 3 wide coming across the line. Moneyline will grab the victory. And Shooter will DNF. I don't know what's happened to Shooter as of late. He started by wrecking, and then he was super fast, had even climbed himself into the top 15, around the top 10, but now he's just plummeted and continues to wreck. I have no idea what happened to him. Hopefully he can get back to those speedy ways soon. Department, the second New Yorker to run in this competition, popped up on 2 wheels coming through the transition, falls to 3rd, but luckily still finished. Moneyline just barely gets the victory ahead of Drafter. Orange Liner, Bolt, Ford, and Spider race next. And it looks to be Spider with the early lead, wobbling through the transition. Ford on the side of the track, though everyone's still on their tires. They're 4 wide. Crossing the line, though Spider will have the clear advantage. Spider started in the lead, came through the transition in the lead, and finished the race in the lead as his competitors wobbled big through the transition. He kept it clean. Was probably a little too close for comfort there at the finish line, but you don't have to win by a mile. You only have to win by an inch. Rookie, Strip, Symbol, Engine, and Stinger race next. This race is massive for the competitor in lane number 2, and that is Symbol. Since point standings were introduced in 2023, there are 2 competitors who have never gotten double digits or lower. One of them is Baseline, the other one is Symbol, and he got, I believe, 103 points in the last competition, which means if he does not win this race, he will get his first double-digit points. And so if he wants to keep this streak alive and doesn't want to get double digits, he has to win this race. But Strip in lane number 1 could prevent that from happening. We'll have to see, though, what happens. And Symbol's not letting anyone get to him. He's in the lead. He wobbles through the transition. Strip was in the air. Stinger's upside down. Symbol will finish the race with the lead. Strip behind him. And Engine and Stinger are going to DNF. So Stinger, upside down, actually managed to make it further down the track than Engine, so he will be placed in 3rd. Engine in last. Strip comes home in 2nd place, but Symbol obviously knew the circumstances he was in. He knew he needed to win this race, and so he didn't let anyone touch him. It was a little close coming through the transition, but then wobbling a little bit right there, Strip nearly flipping, and then Stinger and Engine completely losing speed. He just drove away and refused to lose this race. He wins, advances to round 2, away from double-digit points. Sunshine, 9, DFD, and 35 race next. And it looks to be DFD with a slight lead coming through the transition. He bounces big. 9 landed on top of Sunshine. It's a drag race to the line. And DFD will grab the victory. The rest of his competitors will drive in slowly behind him. But DFD started with the lead and ended with the lead. Wobbled a bit through the transition, but not as much as his competitors. Held on and advances to round 2. BP, Goldie, Copo, and Rick race next. And it's a very even start. I have no idea who's in the lead. A big bounce, and the 2 middle lanes are in the air. Goldie's on the side of the track, falling back. Copo will grab the victory. I think Rick will come home in second, BP in third, and Goldie is going to DNF and finish in last. The 2 middle lanes bounced big. Goldie was one of them, and she got off the side of the track. Copo was the other one, and he was able to save it and escape Goldie's DNF fate. He grabs the victory quite easily, actually, ahead of his competitors. Ally, Fangs, Budweiser, and Orange race next. And it looks to be an even start. Oh, Budweiser gets caught at the start line. He's falling back. Fangs and Ally battle for the lead. It's Fangs in the lead. He will take the victory. And it looks like Budweiser's going to sneak into third place. That's impressive due to how far back he was. Oh, no, he's going to be put back to last. That's interesting when the piece says that he should be in third. And, oh, I understand it now. Looking back at the replay, it is quite clear Orange crosses the line well before Budweiser. Don't know why his piece went in front of Orange's, but it did, so he's going to be placed back to last. Not a DNF, just a regular last place finish as Fangs grabs the victory. Otto, Harvick, Birthday, and Johnson race next. And it looks to be Birthday being left well behind early as the NASCARs wobble through the transition. Harvick's on the side of the track now. He straightens up, but it's not enough to catch Otto, who crosses the line with the victory. I mentioned Harvick getting up on the side of the track. He's actually going to come home in second. Otto relatively clean through that race, despite all of the NASCARs bouncing big through the transition. The only non-NASCAR Birthday falls well behind, comes home in last. Again, it's Otto advancing to round 2. 37, Rookie Hooters, Basket, and Taxi race next. The 2 outside lanes, that's lanes 1 and 4, with 37 and Taxi, are the 3rd and 4th New Yorkers to run in this competition. Only one can win this race, but both can easily lose it, so let's see how they do. And so far, not too bad. It looks like Taxi has a slight lead. A bounce for the first two lanes as Taxi's in the lead, and he'll grab the victory ahead of, it looked like, Basket coming home in second. No, Hooters will actually grab second place. He was one of the first 2 lanes, lane number 2, that bounced through that transition. 37 is the other competitor who bounced big through the transition. He has a habit of flipping onto his side, so he is very lucky he didn't do that, especially with the new DNF policy and the situation he's in. He does not want to be DNFing. I wondered how the New Yorkers was going to do. 37 unfortunately comes home in last, but Taxi grabs the victory and advances to the next round. So before we ran the first half of round number 1, we here at the Diecast Competition Series did some mental math, and we predicted that there are going to be 67 competitors advancing to round number 2. We were going to run 33 races in the first half of round 1 and 34 races in the second half of round 1. But now that the entire competition is over, and more importantly, round 1 is over, spoiler alert, there were 64 competitors who advanced to round number 1, which means the 33 races we designated to the first half is incorrect. Regardless, we are keeping the 33 races for the first half of round 1, which means on Wednesday you will only see 31 races, and this will be fixed moving forwards. Don't you worry. All this to say, there are 2 races to go in the first half of round number 1. This race includes Fishy, Pennzoil, Evolution, and Rookie Sylvia. And it looks to be Fishy, maybe a slight lead coming through the transition. Pennzoil and Evolution bounced way in the air. The Rookie's fallen well behind as Fishy grabs the victory. I don't know what happened to the Rookie there. Sylvia just fell way behind. It was not even close to the fight for the lead. Evolution sneaks out into second place. Has had a rough go at it. Was up there, even top 10 in points early in the season. Has been on a bit of a free fall in this one. Gets beat out by Fishy. One competitor's downfall is another competitor's upbringing. Fishy is moving on to round 2. Final race of the first half of round number 1. This one includes 13 net spend, rookie, vintage, and ladder. And it's a very even start. It looks like ladder may be beginning to now fall behind vintage. Now sideways in front of ladder. Net spend will grab the victory ahead of 13. And everyone is going to finish the race. The rookie of vintage, real unfortunate right there, as his NASCAR teammate and competitor Netspend grabs the victory. I think Vintage definitely could have been right there with him, but getting sideways was even in Netspend's lane a little bit, as his back end was in Ladder's lane. Ladder able to push Vintage across the line to trigger his piece, and Ladder was able to trigger his own piece. Therefore, we have no DNFs to end the first half of round number 1. And here are your competitors advancing. And the first thing you will notice is that the mat has been extended. In the previous competitions, competitors were going fully off the mat. So we have fixed this and extended the mat. This will also help us out for Race and Land coming up later. It looks like there's a lot less competitors moving on, but there is 33 drivers on your screen now. And looking at the competitors, who am I going to pick? Oh, I don't know. I have done some thinking. And I thought Symbol and Flyer, and then I looked through it, and if they do advance to round 3, they will be in the exact same race. So I can't pick them. I definitely want to pick Symbol, but that final competitor is up in the air. I kind of feel good about Plasma. For some reason, he often has breakout competitions every once in a while. It feels like this is one of them. So there we go. We got Plasma and then Symbol. So there we go. Those are my picks. Let me know your picks of who will advance from the first half of round number 1 in the comments below. If you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel. If you don't want to miss the rest of this competition or the rest of this season, subscribe, hit notifications. The second half of round number 1 is coming up soon. And then the final rounds. And then we get right into Race and Land, which is the longest and most chaotic competition on the schedule. It is a can't-miss competition. And until next time, my name is Farkle8000, and we'll see you later.